have another Titan TV battle. We have the 83-inch LG G5 versus the 85-inch TCL QM8K. Up next.
I've seen things people wouldn't believe.
If the TVs in this video are not large enough for you, you need to check out today's sponsor. Both Valerion and Oled Vision have many short throw and long throw projectors to choose from. Here you're seeing the VisionMaster Pro2. And when your largest TV is not large enough, both Oled Vision and Valerion literally have you covered, giving you a gorgeous cinematic experience that is also portable. You can watch it on any screen, even 120 inches, 180 inches, up to 300 inches. This RGB laser projector gives you that cinematic feel home or anywhere your family gathers. Oled Vision has a better than Prime Day deals promotion where if you buy any flagship projector, you can get a speaker or screen for 50% off. And then don't miss this deal from Valerion for the VisionMaster Pro 2 seen within this video. They have a ridiculous savings of $1,678 when you buy the Valerion VisionMaster Pro 2. You get a mount, a screen, and 3D glasses free. Check the description below for links to both incredible promotions and enjoy cinema at home right now. Thank you to Valerion for sponsoring this video. Hey, what's up guys? I'm Brian, this is Tech Therapy. Thank you so much for joining me as we compare the LG G5 versus the TCL QM8K. The G5 is 83 inches. It's my personal TV, which I purchased from our good friends at Value Electronics. The TCL QM8K arrived last week from TCL. What's interesting about this matchup is where we are these days with TVs. Having a mini LED of such high quality from TCL, their flagship, versus an OLED that is as bright as the G5. Ridiculous to think that they would actually match up. But unlike the last comparison where the QM8K went against the QM7K, where you thought to yourself, is the QM8K worth the price difference? You're gonna have to ask yourself that question in reverse. Is the G5 worth the price difference over the excellent QM8K? Without further ado, let's check out the LG G5 at 83 inches versus the 85-inch TCL QM8K. Thank you so much for watching. All right, guys, let's do it. QM8K, 85 inches versus the LG G5 at 83 inches. Let's take a quick look at both the build quality and the design in a very bright room. The G5 does not come with a stand at any size. It has its gallery gapless wall mount, which sits flush. That is an aftermarket Sanus stand. The wall mount is gorgeous when utilized, but if you want it at any size and you want it to have a stand, you have to provide your own aftermarket stand. QM8K has a center stand with two positions, metal face, both low and high, and it's in the low position right now. Higher position is about 2 inches higher. Backlit metal remote on the QM8K. And the LG has a new designed remote on all their higher end TVs. The less said about this remote, the better. I'm not a big fan at all of the remote. You actually lose an input button, which is unforgivable. But looking at the design again in a very bright room, you'll see the picture quality in a bright room as well. Now, these are two very high-end premium products with actual similar designs. They both have metal bezels. The bezel on the G5 is nearly invisible. On the QM8K, you have a more thick, though it is a thin bezel, it is very pronounced. It actually has a little ledge on it. So both silver, but it's the matrix border. The QM8K is literally borderless, which is unreal. When you look at the G5, now I can't not look at the thick border around the inside of the TV. So it's borderless on the QM8K versus bezel-less or nearly bezel-less on the G5. Very small branding on the QM8K. You also have branding on the side right panel, no branding at all on the front of the LG G5. Moving around to the back of both TVs, you have a very smooth almost reflective back panel on the G5. You can see the aftermarket Santa stand. You also have your gapless gallery wall mount, which again, when you're using it, it is gorgeous. You have 4 HDMI 2.1 capable of 4K 165 Hz. Now you do have some very cool LG branding on the back of the TV, which I love, but you're really not going to see it. It's either blocked by the wall or the stand, but it's a cool touch. And the G5 will be more thick than other OLEDs as it's designed to lay flush against the wall, and you're missing the large back of a traditional OLED. The QM8K has a silver bezel on the side. It's a little bit thicker as it is a mini LED, but it's not crazy thick for a mini LED with this many zones. You have your Bang & Olufsen sound system speakers here for ultra bass. You have a textured back, detachable power cable, 4 HDMI, 2 are HDMI 2.1 capable of 4K 144 Hz. That's the cable. You have a fixed cable on the G5, but it is heavy duty. Let's check out the reflection handling of both TVs in a bright room. QM8K is glossy, so is the G5. Both are excellent bright room TVs, but you can see the reflection handling difference here. Now the G5 is probably the best bright room TV in the world, which is insane considering it's an OLED, but you can see the light being about 6 feet away. You can barely see it at all on the G5. Now it's colorful content, but I have to move the camera and the light right up to the screen for you to be able to see it. They both, again, excellent bright room TVs, putting on a different kind of content where you can definitely see it with the black screen in the back. You can see the differences in reflection handling of both, and we'll catch the window in both frames. Now in our first batch of demos, I want to do them in the brightest room possible. There are lights above the TVs, lights above me, and a window open to the right-hand side. I want to cover every aspect I can on both of these monsters and give you as much information and as much to look at as I possibly can. The TCL QM8K is a ultra premium quantum dot mini LED with a brand new HVA panel. That's why I want to show you the design as well. Is TCL now has these premium TVs, and I love that it can compete with something like the G5. That is new for TCL. The G5, this is the boogeyman of the TV world right now. It is an absolute monster, and especially at 83 inches. Now there's a lot to take into account in this comparison. You have an HVA quantum dot mini LED from TCL going against the brand new primary RGB OLED from LG. Micro contrast and brightness and HDR impact is going to be the difference between the two in many of these shots. Let's check out SDR. The G5 is bright in nearly every preset in regards to SDR, but if you're feeling that your TV is not bright enough in SDR, get out of the most accurate preset. You have sports for the QM8K, you have movie, you have standard, you have intelligent. Move into those presets and you'll see the brightness is more than adequate. Both look excellent in SDR. But again, if you feel like the TCL is not bright enough, get out of Filmmaker, which is what we're out of here. But seeing these two TVs side by side was absolute chaos, fun. I was laughing to myself. To do an 85 versus 83 in my own studio is a huge accomplishment for me. But to see these two TVs compete the way they are is unreal. To see an LG G5 have pure whites, and in many cases be as bright, if not brighter, than one of the brightest mini LEDs is something I thought I would never see. Pay attention to all aspects of what you see on screen from our good friend Jennifer Gala and her second channel, HDR Super Channel. And I'm going to show you a lot of real footage, footage that is real shots from Jen. Notice the differences in color and even the brightness between the two. Which one has more three-dimensionality? Which one even has better shadow detail? There's so much to unpack in these videos, which is why I leave them very long. This video is about 25 minutes, and I promise you, you will never see these two TVs at these sizes side by side ever again. Now, throughout the video, I have these TVs perceptually matched preset for preset. Every preset has been warmed up for the camera. We are going to be here in the most vivid preset. To see how they are comparable in brightness is absolutely absurd. The QM8K is very bright, the G5 is off the charts, but this is where the difference will show itself, with true HDR impact and micro contrast from an OLED. The camera is clipping, not the TV, but you can see the differences on what an OLED will provide. That impact is three-dimensional, and it feels real. You'll see it again here, where the QM8K is very bright, the G5 absolutely looks like it's really there. And that's in its most vivid preset. Now, going through the picture preset overview, something LG definitely has to fix is their brightness in their menus is so freaking bright, you can't even really see it no matter what I did. If I lower the exposure to compensate for that, both TVs got super dim. It's super clear on the QM8K though, so LG has to chill with that. In a dark room, it'll blind you. But I'm gonna go through the presets. You can see me switch back and forth between them, but the flexibility of image on both TVs is absolutely amazing. You have different presets. You have sports and intelligent on the TCL, which are very similar to standard. Intelligent is somewhere between vivid and standard. Cinema Home is super bright and is more comparable to the intelligent preset on the QM8K. So I'm perceptually matching them in every clip. This is how close they can look. They cannot look any closer than that unless I leave it in Filmmaker the entire time, which I do not believe in doing in a 20-something minute video. Here we're checking motion. You have standard on the G5 versus sports on the QM8K. And none of the motion settings have been pushed very hard on the QM8K. No clear or black frame insertion. They're just their standard presets for sports and standard. But you tell me in the comments, what do you see? Now we have to talk about price. The LG G5 at 83 inches is $6,500 right now. The 85-inch QM8K is $3,799. That's a huge difference in price. What's even more staggering, and it's something you have to ask yourself in this video, it's not really 85 versus 83. What it is the 98-inch QM8K is $4,999. So you have to ask yourself, not only is the G5 that much better, is it worth the price difference between these two? Is it worth the price difference between the G5 at 83 and the size of a 98-inch QM8K? Now for me, obviously the answer is yes, as I have purchased the LG G5. I do still feel like the image quality of an OLED is superior in every way, especially now that they are so bright. But that's a decision you have to ask yourself. Would you much rather have a 98-inch or a 100-inch QM7K? To me, that is the amazing part about this comparison, is that conversation. For me, 83-inch is a beautiful size, but it's so compelling to think that you can get a 98-inch flagship TV or even a 100-inch TV for that price. You tell me what you think about that scenario. Very special shout out to Value Electronics, where I purchased the LG G5. Robert Zone is also the creator of the King of TV Shootout, which is less than a month away, where the LG G5 will be competing. Please consider making your next AV purchase through them. Check the description below for all their information. Let them know that Brian from Brian's Tech Therapy sent you. Thank you so much to Robert and Wendy Zone of Value Electronics. Check out the HDR impact in these shots. Another very special shout out to the one and only Jennifer Gala and her second channel, HDR Super Channel. About 80% of the content seen within this video is from both of those channels. Check the description below for links to both channels, and consider becoming a Patreon member to Jen's main channel and download all these amazing demos in full Dolby Atmos and Dolby Vision. Thank you so much, Jen. Now, so far in the video, what are you guys seeing? What are you seeing from the TCL QM8K or TCL in general in 2025? They've made big jumps each and every year in the last 4 or 5 years. Now, I've owned LG TVs for a number of years. Last year, the G4 was my favorite TV of the year, and the G5 is my favorite TV this year. Now, the G5 has had a rocky start. It's needed some updates to get it to where it should be. That's why my review was called Perfectly Imperfect, but it is getting there. But it is a monster, and it is next level. And amazed at what LG's been able to accomplish with this new panel. But what are you guys seeing? I personally never thought I'd see an OLED be this bright in my life. Going against a flagship mini LED. Now, even comparing the G4 last year against, say, the Valerion 9, it still would lose in terms of its brightness. You don't really see that here at all. Barely any shots at all does the QM8K appear brighter. And that's not just the perception. The G5 is literally that bright. Now, checking out the color reproduction where both TVs are in filmmaker mode, and this is where the G5 updates have really helped with the color banding that was present before. Now, I didn't see much of that in these shots before the update, but it's definitely completely gone on the G5 now. The biggest difference for the G5 is retaining color, as you see here in very bright images. The G5 never loses color saturation at all, even at 3000 nits. Let's move into some Dolby Vision. We'll be using the Spears and Munsell demo disc or calibration benchmarking disc for this comparison. Now, TCL has made great strides in their Dolby Vision implementation. They also have HDR10 Plus, where LG just has Dolby Vision, but LG does have the best Dolby Vision implementation year after year in the business. However, it has not been perfect this year. It can be very dark. That's also been fixed. There is more work to do when you get into some streaming content, but only in certain movies have I found that to be the case. But here you're seeing both in Dolby Vision. What are your thoughts here? Now, I shouldn't say that G5 never loses color saturation during bright scenes, but not nearly to the degree that the G4 did. It is much better. Now, let's move into some paused movies so copyright doesn't destroy me. We're looking at The Shining here. What you're seeing is Dolby Vision. Now, you have Dolby Vision Dark, Dolby Vision IQ, and Dolby Vision Bright on the QM8K. Those three presets, as well as Dolby Vision Gaming. The G5 has more: Vivid, Standard, Cinema, Cinema Home, as well as the new Dolby Vision Filmmaker mode. And though the sweater looks crushed on camera, it is not that way in person. But you can easily change the presets to match and make it as bright, if not brighter, than the QM8K. The QM8K, it is in Dolby Vision Dark right now. So that's as deep as it will get. Moving into Predator, we're both in movie presets here. And what we're showing you here is the flexibility of image on the G5. Again, Dolby Vision implementation much better on the TCL than it ever has been before. But even the filmmaker mode has a depth. It may seem very dark here, but I prefer watching it there so it doesn't look washed out. Moving into Aliens, which is the best shot of any Alien movie in my opinion, is this shot. I have a little bug here where the Dolby Atmos, Dolby Vision menu thing does not go away. But here again, you can even go into Dolby Vision Vivid. But I'm trying to match them here. Unfortunately, you aren't going to be able to see it because it looks washed out because the freaking bright menu. But both look incredible. But again, more flexibility of image on the G5. If the G5 gets their issues set, it will be nearly perfect. Now we're here looking at one of my favorite films, Event Horizon. And this is one of the movies that I thought looked excellent on the QM8K in comparison to the G5. And this is a tough transfer in 4K. But again, showing you the different flexibility of image. I loved how the Dolby Vision Dark looked here on the TCL. But let me know what you think with these paused movies. I wish I could show you movies in motion, guys, but again, copyright is real. You can see again the flexibility of image on the G5. No other manufacturer lets you change Dolby Vision the way LG does. I mean, it'd be so much easier just to show you movies, especially my favorite films, but having Jen's content is an absolute gift to really push these TVs. Let's move into our legendary Colombo upscaling test. Now you can see in SDR how much easier it is to see the menu on the LG, which shows you how bright it is in HDR. Both actually look very good in our Colombo test, blown away by the upscaling ability of the QM8K, but the edge goes to the G5 and the Alpha 11 processor. But they both look good in Colombo. Again, TCL comes a very long way in its upscaling. Let's check out some gaming on the PS5 Pro. We're going to stay on console for this test. Just know that the G5 has 165 Hertz capability on all four HDMI 2.1. The TCL has two HDMI 2.1 capable of 4K 144. Also, the TCL has the capability of doing 1080p at 288 Hertz. Some users have been able to get the QM8K or the QM7K the ability to do 1440p at 288 Hertz. I haven't tried that yet. Both game modes look amazing. The QM8K has a gorgeous game mode and its pixel response is actually excellent. You're not dealing with any real trailing or blurring, and that's even compared to the instant pixel response of the G5. G5 also has more flexibility of image with its game bar, and the colors are just more saturated due to the fact that it's an OLED, which is very important in gaming. G5 being one of the best gaming TVs in the world right now. But what TCL has gotten better at the last few years in their game mode is also clarity. It's not blurry, there isn't any real trailing, it's a very clear, crisp image. So both TVs are excellent for gaming, but not just console gaming, but PC gaming as well. As I mentioned, the QM8K has 144 Hertz capabilities. You have 3 different picture presets on the QM8K, and you have several, as well as a personalized picture preset on the LG G5. They have very different game bars. And the G5 has more presets and more flexibility of image. What the G5 has that no other manufacturer really has is the black stabilizer, the ability to also drop the black level. A lot of these games will have broken HDR, and you can fix most of that with LG's settings, which is something a lot of other manufacturers, they usually give you the ability to raise the black level. I want to be able to reduce it or change it without crushing the image. That flexibility is something that I love. Both TVs have HGIG. I don't love the look of the HIG mode on the QM8K. I do like the look of it on the LG G5. But it's great that the QM8K actually has it. And I wouldn't use it much, but I do use it on my LG TVs. Both TVs, again, look gorgeous and are excellent for both console and PC gaming. Let's move into Ghost of Tsushima. And there isn't any black crush on the G5. I'm just trying to capture them both. If I raise the exposure, it washes out the QM8K. But you're seeing the specular highlights on both. And think to yourself, which is more impactful? And then think to the differences in price. We can buy 2 QM8Ks for the same price as an 83-inch G5, or you can buy a 98-inch QM8K. Either way, you decide. But this comparison has been very fun. What are your thoughts? Let me know down in the comments. In closing, both TVs are absolutely amazing. I've loved hanging out with the QM8K for the last few weeks, and the LG G5 has had a rocky start, but it's an absolute monster. And it's been so fun filming them. I literally was breaking out laughing. Please let me know in detail what you think. I really appreciate you guys watching, especially those of you that watch these videos live. I premiere every video live. We watch them together. What are your thoughts, especially the differences in price? Would you prefer a much larger QM8K or QM7K? But the G5, again, the boogeyman of the TV world, is an absolute beast. I'm Brian. This is Tech Therapy. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing. Love you guys. Take care.
It's better to burn out than to fade away. There can be only one.